It's a zor spot.
It's a rare offspring.
It's a zor spot for them.
Oh, God.
No, that's what you cook them in, a zor spot.
Don't cook zebras. God.
Well,
Or
aren't
zorses.
like I mean, I'm sure they taste like horses and people eat horses.
There's also
I know that happens, but no thank you.
a zebra crossed with a donkey is a donkra.
Oh, donkra.
Wait, what?
That's you.
Like zebra, donkey, donkey.
Yeah, no, I get it, but like what? Donkra? A donkra. Interesting. Why are we
like
not
that-
talking about this more?
Right? Why have they been hiding this from us?
Right.
Donkra. Huh.
They are rare and usually sterile. The general term for any cross between a zebra and any other equine is a zebroid.
Zebroid. Oh, usually you have to get preparation H for that.
Roger.
Oh,
Sorry.
God. All right. There we go.
What's
There we
happening? What's happening?
It's the zebra in me. It's making me a zebra.
Preparation H.
Always blaming it on the equines, aren't you?
Yeah, hemorrhoids
Roger.
and zebras. I mean, they go
Oh, I
hand
didn't say
in
anything
hand.
about hemorrhoids.
Well, what is preparation H for? Otherwise,
I just want to say I'm not part of this conversation.
Yep. I'm back here in the back.
You're with the Zorses.
I'm a promoter of equine rights. Is it equine? Equine.
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 I wonder if they use equine facts if they ever get their data stolen. Nay. That's a...
Sorry, Sarah. That was funny. Oh, good laugh. Good laugh.
Yay or nay?
Oh, good grief. Well, I did not eat a zebra for lunch today, but I did have a really, really good sandwich. So, just gonna go ahead and gloat about that.
I got
The tacos?
surprised. I was going to go make something for lunch, and when I got there, Eileen had already made a little tuna salad for us.
Well, isn't that nice?
I know. It was
Yeah.
very nice. It was fresh tomatoes, cucumber, onion, and tuna with a little special sauce.
And
2 minute
and
warning, 2
and
minutes.
what? And
Thank you, Joe.
was there any carb included or no?
No
No.
carb.
Just,
No carb
just
in this
the,
lunch.
Just a protein forward
Protein and
lunch.
veggie, yeah.
Yeah. No, I
And
love
fish,
that. I love
fish
that.
too. So got your tuna's not super high in omegas, but you get some.
But high in protein for sure.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It's a good
Yeah,
fish.
I've got a bunch of tuna in one of my cupboards, and I'm just like, every time I look at it, I'm like, I know I have to like
What
open
is-
you up and do something with you, tuna.
Clinton Woodward, I went to the place I normally have tacos and got a club sandwich instead.
What?
Was it
On
good? If
Tuesday?
it's good, you made a good choice.
A taco
taco-
truck has a club sandwich on the menu?
Well, I don't know if it's a truck,
Oh, maybe not a truck,
Maybe it's a torta.
but
but
still.
even so,
Club
Tuesday,
torta.
people.
I have
1 minute.
yeah.
Clinton says it was excellent, so can't argue with success.
Go for it.
Secret of my success.
One minute warning.
Zoe asked the important question, do they do club tacos?
What would that be?
That would just be what's in the club sandwich, but in a taco.
No, I know.
Hard sell,
but
soft
like,
sell.
what would that
30
really
seconds.
realistically look like?
You'd kind of have to do it in a flour tortilla, I think.
Or
I don't know
pita
if you
bread.
could do that well in a fried corn tortilla.
Or fry bread.
I mean, you could do it in a soft.
Yeah,
tortilla.
club sandwich feels like a flour.
Yeah. The club sandwich as a wrap, that's basically the club sandwich taco right there.
10 seconds.
I don't like club sandwiches that much.
Oh, they're great.
There
I
I
won't
said
be
it.
a member of any sandwich that would have me.
Have a good show, everybody.
Good day, Internet.
Good day, internet.
Good day, Internet.
Oh my gosh, are you ready for the power struggle that is Good Day, Internet?
To the death.
To the death.
Suddenly got a lot more serious.
Yes, the stakes are raised in this episode.
Hey, if there's stakes involved, I'll stay.
See,
Yeah,
and look,
like how are the steaks cooked, Tom?
medium well, probably.
I
Christopher
prefer
gave us a super
medium
chat in
rare.
support of Joe.
Thank you, Christopher.
Thank
Nice.
you, Christopher. Very nice.
Thank you, Christopher. That's nice of you.
Yeah. See, when you raise the stakes, that's what happens. All right. Let's do the show. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's stakes involved.
I don't know why I paused. I don't usually pause.
I'm out of here. Yeah. Too
Here
many
we go.
steaks.
In 3, 2. Daily Tech News Show is made possible by its listeners. Thanks to all of you, including Hector Bones, Dan Crafton, Tim Ashman, and everybody. Welcome our brand new patron, Maku.
Yay, Maku!
On this episode of DTNS, Google gives Workspace subscribers Gemini. Duolingo is adding its own AI as well, and why you don't need to worry about Ford listening to your conversations. Yet. This is the Daily Tech News for Tuesday, September 24th, 2024. In Los Angeles, I'm Tom Merritt.
From Studio Animal House, I'm Sarah Lane.
And I'm the show's producer, Roger Chang.
You know, September 24th, 2024 has a nice little numerical parody to it. It makes me wonder, Sarah, did we celebrate February 4th this way? Because 2/4/2024. I know you like these kinds of things. So.
I'm palindromes and yes, things that are in a pattern. Very important to me. I don't remember February.
I don't either. Did
That's
it
a long
happen?
time ago.
Are we sure there was a February?
Right. But yes, 9/24/2024. This is a good one. This
There's
is a good one.
24
It's a
thing.
good
Yeah.
omen.
Yeah, it is a good omen. I think it means we should start with the quick hits today.
Let's do it. Google is updating its video editor in the Photos app, both for Android and iOS. A speed tool can create slow-mo or speed up videos faster. Audio Enhance improves color and stability in the trimming tool, and the trimming tool should be a little more precise. Also, the UI is being rearranged below the timeline in the editor. So if you want to do a mute, enhance, stabilize, and export frames, they're all up there up front. There's also a handful of new presets for one-touch effects for dynamic motion tracking, lightning, adjustment, and others.
Logitech launched the first product since it acquired Stream Deck competitor, important difference to get that R in there, Stream Deck competitor Loop Deck last year. The MX Creative Console has a 9-key programmable keypad, as you might expect, along with a dial with 4 buttons and a scroll wheel. It's designed to work with Photoshop or Premiere Pro specifically, so there's some easy ways in there to make shortcuts for both of those programs, and the dial works really well with some of the features that Adobe has these days. Connects by USB-C for the keypad, Bluetooth for the dial pad. If you want to use Logitech's RF, you can do that, but you have to buy the dongle separately. Also comes with 3 months of Adobe Creative Cloud, and you can order it right now for $200, shipping October 14th.
Roku launched the 2024 Roku Ultra with 30% faster performance thanks to a quad-core processor. It includes Dolby Atmos audio and Dolby Vision for 4K and HDR10 Plus picture quality. You can connect it by Wi-Fi 6 or Ethernet. The new Voice Remote Pro, which is the second edition, charges by USB-C and has backlit buttons and a new quick launch button that gives you a screen of your most used apps and voice commands. There's also Roku OS 14, which comes to other Roku devices as well. It's available now for $100, same price as the new Google TV streamer.
All right, so we got drama in WordPress land. Yesterday, we mentioned that Matt Mullenweg got up on stage at the Word conference and also followed up online, telling folks they'd be better off choosing a company that isn't WP Engine. WP Engine now says it has sent a cease and desist to Mullenweg to get him to stop making, quote, harmful and disparaging statements against the company. The company also claimed Mullenweg demanded a large sum of money before he gave that WordCamp speech. and then threatened if they didn't pay, he would engage in a, quote, self-described scorched earth nuclear approach toward WP Engine. The money was allegedly for the use of the WordPress trademark, which WP Engine says it's using under fair use. So that seems to be what this is all about.
Spotify is expanding the regions that it can use text and describe a playlist and have Spotify's algorithms create one for them with 30 songs. So you can even provide follow-on prompts to fine-tune something like, what you wanted to get the next song. People in Australia and the UK already had this. It's now available to people in Canada, Ireland, New Zealand, and the US. You do need a paid subscription to access it.
This just in, Sarah. February 4th was a Sunday, so we didn't get to celebrate it on DTNS. Yeah. Thank you, whoever in the chat pointed that out.
Yeah.
Which it is now. It is now scrolled past, so I forget.
A sad palindrome that has passed our desks.
It was a palindrome day of rest, February 4th.
Right. Yeah.
Today is not a day of rest, though. Google announced that the Gemini chatbot is coming to the people who pay for Workspace Business. That also includes Workspace Enterprise and Frontline plans, starting sometime after October 1st. So you won't see it today, but you won't have to go get it separately. It'll just be part of Workspace. Smart move on Google's part, if you ask me, because it means they will get more people using Gemini. And it seems like they're moving into, we need more people to be aware that Gemini exists and can do things versus making all the money in the world off of it. Under Workspace terms, Google does not use company data to train the model or otherwise improve the Gemini models. Admins can control how or whether Gemini stores your prompts at all on an individual basis. If you're in the industry, you might want to know that it is both SOC 123 and ISO 27701. Maybe it doesn't mean anything to most people, but that's security and privacy standards that folks in the industry often look for. Google's also rolling out a security advisor tool that will send info to an admin's inbox to let them know what's going on, including browsing and data protection for Chrome, Gmail, and Google Drive. Now, that's interesting, and we're going to talk about that. But in somewhat related news, Warner Brothers Discovery is using Google's Vertex development platform to generate captions automatically for video on the Max streaming service. If it's a scripted video, they don't need this as much because you have the script that you can go on and just tweak that to be the captions. But for reality shows, unscripted shows, they're going to be using this. They say it generates captions 80% faster than the old way, which is doing it by hand. And Google said it's partnering with Snap to power a lot of the models in Snapchat. So you've got Google out there saying, hey, we have partners too, OpenAI. I don't know, Sarah. It feels like Google's on a little bit of a charm offensive here. Like, here, have a little Gemini, and we're partners, with Warner Brothers Discovery, the makers of Game of Thrones. Like,
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
whatever that means. But no, I think the Gemini the charm offensive is a good way to describe this. Google has been accused, or whatever you want to say, of just being slightly behind OpenAI in everything. Like Google should have been, they should have been, the first horse out of the gate.
Yeah.
A lot of horses going on the show today, pre-show, during the show, and also post-show. But I think that this is really smart. I think that this is not unlike what Apple's doing. We're going to bundle AI stuff into products that you already use. You have, if Sarah gets up in the morning and, opens up Google Docs and has some sort of a process, this will help her in some way. I don't know if it's going to help me. I don't know. I don't actually use Gemini all that much. Besides,
there you go. This is the solution, right?
Besides, look, when I search for things, which is several times a day, I've got my Gemini results up top,
of course,
which I either look at or don't. But yeah, it's like how can, Google, who has such a robust, workplace atmosphere. We use Google Docs exclusively. Well, mostly
Quite a
on
bit,
on,
yeah.
on our show. And how does that help our process? I don't know the answer to that yet. I don't think that AI really helps my process in general at all. But I'm still looking for that moment where I'm like, aha, okay, got it.
There definitely have been times where I'm in a Google Doc, and because we don't have Gemini, we're not paying extra for it. I've wanted to consult it. I've been like, hey, can you grammar check this? I have the Grammarly plugin now, which works the same way. But before that, I was like, I want Gemini to do this. Or can Gemini summarize this? Could I get Gemini to tweak these sheets cells? Some of those things I want it to do, it won't do. It's not capable of doing, but I don't know what it is and isn't capable. And I think that makes a big difference. And that's why this is smart, is Google saying, let's just give that to the paying users. Let's not hold it back as a separate thing that they have to pay extra for, because not enough of them are paying extra for it because they don't know what it's good for. Let's stick it in front of people so you get them using it and sharing with each other. I really didn't know what it was good for, but I found that I'm using it for this. And then that spreads, you get more people talking about it, you get more people using it, and then maybe you can make it its own tier.
Yeah. As far as the Vertex development platform generating captions for a video where it wouldn't already be possible, that's interesting. I don't know. I mean, I feel like we're in a world where everything is captionable. You just, it's like every platform has that as an option, add it or don't type thing. I'm not totally sure how this is going to help me on a daily basis. I guess for like a movie or a TV show where they just weren't available otherwise.
Yeah, well, they have to have them available, but it speeds them up. If you're somebody who relies on them, right? You'll theoretically get them faster. Maybe it brings them faster. It saves them money too, so it lowers costs and all of that. And it's fun for Google to say we're partnering with Warner Brothers Discovery, right? To bring those captions to folks. And captions are extremely important for a lot of different people, for a lot of different reasons. And also just really popular. More people than ever have captions on because it's loud or they don't like the way their TV sound is or whatever. So, this is something Warner Brothers Discovery is going to do anyway. But it makes it faster and makes it easier for them. Speaking of charm offensives, a lot of people buzzing about CEO Sam Altman's blog post about the future of AI. CEO of OpenAI, Sam Altman, in case you didn't know that for some reason. I read this post, Sarah, and I thought it was very fine. Like, I didn't have a big problem with much or any of it, but it also, I didn't get buzzy about it. I'm not sure why people are saying Sam Altman talks about going into God mode. It was very overly positive. It didn't talk about the negatives a lot, but that's, what I would expect from the CEO of OpenAI. So it didn't set me back on my rear about like, wow, the future of AI, nor did it make me upset. The biggest thing he said is that we will have super intelligence in a few thousand days. It may take longer. That's a pretty safe prediction. It'll be either 8 years or possibly longer. I'm like, yes, that seems true. Yeah.
I'm sort of like, not 6 months. All right. Well, let's talk about it when we get there.
Yeah.
In 8 years from now.
So, you can go read it if you want. It's pretty short and extremely positive. But maybe, you're wanting to get into AI and you want to know what the positive people think. It's a decent look at the optimist view of that. Speaking of AI, though, we got some going into our language apps now, too.
Yeah, we do. So at DuoCon 2024, yes, this is a real thing, Duolingo introduced 2 new features for language learning. One is Adventures and one is AI video calls. So Adventures is a gamified experience that lets you as a user apply your language skills in real world situations. Like, what would you do if you were ordering at a restaurant? And the Duolingo characters, Lily and Oscar, are going to help you along the way. So it feels a little bit more real world scenario. For now, it's available for English speakers learning French and Spanish speakers learning English. So I happen to be an English speaker learning French, so this applies to me. Might not apply to everybody, though. AI video calls simulate conversational practices with the Duolingo characters, Lily, she's the only one, designed to help you as a user build confidence while you're speaking. It's iOS only for now. You have to be a subscriber to Duolingo Max. Duolingo also announced a collaboration with Loog, that's Loog, to release an electric piano for their upcoming music course. Yeah, Duolingo is going all out right now. Pre-orders for that electric piano are open now for $250 from the Duolingo store.
Yeah, I think probably a lot of people didn't realize Duolingo did music lessons along with language lessons, so that's kind of a good way to get the word out on that. And people seem to like that electric piano, from what I can tell. That's pretty cool. The other thing requiring the Duolingo Max subscription, I don't know that this is going to make anyone upgrade to the Max subscription over the Super subscription, but maybe. I feel like the adventures is just what they already have, stories, but you get to choose your own adventure, right? Like you're walking around in the cafe instead of just following it on rails. So I guess that's kind of cool. The AI video calls reminds me of something in another app I use called Memrise. Memrise has an AI chatbot that you can talk to, and it will talk to you in the language you're studying. You can actually respond to it in that language or in your own language, and then it will translate your responses, which is kind of helpful if you're like, I want to know how to say this, but I don't. This seems better, though. This seems like it's really more tailored to your lesson, whereas the Memrise one is a little too open-ended for my taste.
That's one of the issues with Duolingo that I have, even though I think that, again, English speaker, learning French, and, practicing as much as I can, even though half the time the Duolingo bird is, dying on my home screen. But it's helpful. You will learn stuff. You will be like, the man is opening the door. Yeah, I know how to say that. That kind of thing. And, sometimes I feel like, gosh, this feels like I'm learning words. I am. Repetition is part of the deal. But it's like, what is the sentence? Like, why would I ever even say this? To have something that's a little bit more interactive, I think is a really, really good idea for Duolingo or any other company that's trying to help people learn a language, because you have to be, you have to get, you have to be thrown a curveball. That's the way that you learn the language. If you're just sort of like, yes, I know how to say sit, I know how to say window, I know how to say door, I know how to say dog. It's like, yeah, but like, what happens when you talk to somebody, actually? And that's where I think Duolingo is going with this, with, an AI friend of sorts that might say something to you or Tom, and might say something different to Roger or Joe. That's where I think the language learning will stick, because otherwise, you're only going to get so far. It's like you're book smart, but you're not street smart.
There's two ways you learn a language. Hearing, it uses a different part of your brain than speaking. And so if you're only learning by recognizing and hearing and reading, it makes it, you still might not be able to speak it. So I think you're absolutely right. Forcing you to actually recall the words yourself and not just see them and interpret them makes a big difference. It starting small with the most popular languages on the platform, English, Spanish, French. It'll come to Korean in 6 years, and I'll enjoy it then. But it's got to start somewhere, right?
I don't know. I mean, mean, I think Korean is more popular than you think.
Well, you would think, but
Yeah.
but sadly, that is not how. That's
Not
not
on
where the
Duolingo.
features get prioritized on Duolingo.
Yeah.
And I think Duolingo has said that French, English, and Spanish are its most popular languages.
Which is funny because, yeah, I didn't even study French in school. I studied Spanish. I'm from California. I mean, that's all we do. but French is, I mean, it is helpful. It really is. It's good to, for retention and just sort of like keep your brain alive in that certain place that it might not be otherwise. But yeah, the path forward is probably to have an AI assistant. So that's where we're going.
Yeah, these are beginning. I'm not super impressed with the Duolingo one either. I think it's a little bit tighter than the Memrise one, but they're all going to get better. They're all going to get fine-tuned. And eventually, my hope is they have ones that really can tell where you are in the language and push you just enough to learn and accelerate your learning, versus what happens a lot of times is it's kind of all over the place and you get discouraged because it's throwing some things that are too hard and some things that are too easy. And the promise of these algorithms is that they will tailor this stuff and help people learn languages faster, and then eventually become universal translators and make it unnecessary to learn another language anyway, because they can just speak for you at that point.
Babblefish.
Yeah. And just stick it in our ears. If you have feedback about anything that gets brought up on the show, you can talk to us on the social networks out there. We are at DTNS Show on X, at DTNS Show at mstdn.social on Mastodon, at Daily Tech News Show on TikTok, and DTNS Pix, DTNS PIX on Instagram and Threads. This one was lighting up our subreddit today. In fact, I forgot to note down who posted it. I wanted to give them a little special nod. It was about Ford providing a patent. Now I can't find the person who posted it. I'll have to dig that up in a second. But Ford has filed a patent application for in-vehicle advertisements based on information derived from your driving behavior. As you might guess, they describe a method for using your route information if you're using Ford's navigation, the speed you're driving, things like that, the behavior of the car to customize things to you. I get that. It also says it could use audio signals, and that the controller may monitor user dialogue to detect when individuals are in a conversation to decrease the number of ads. I like that. If I'm talking to somebody, don't interrupt me with a bunch of ads in the audio feed. But also, the conversations can be parsed for keywords or phrases that may indicate where the occupants are traveling to. Now, that could be used for good or ill. If they can tell where I'm traveling to and then provide navigation guidance, fine-tune that, maybe some points of interest along the way, that's great. If they're using that to feed ads, I need to have a lot of control over that. The point being, this is a patent. People file patents all the time that they never implement because they just think they might someday, and they want to make sure that they protect their ability to be first to market with that stuff. So this means that Ford wants to be the one who gets paid for doing this, whether it's them or somebody else paying them to license their patent. It doesn't mean that it will do it. It doesn't even mean they can do it. You could patent a method without actually knowing exactly how you're going to properly implement it in the marketplace. If this becomes a product someday, I'm going to have a lot of questions about it. Don't get me wrong. I'm going to want to know how that data is processed, who it's shared with. Is it stored in the car? Is it shared in the cloud? What control do I have over it? But I will remind myself and everybody else that the patent filing is tantamount to saying, I bet I could, not I'm going to, and certainly far from I have done it. So worth knowing about, but it's not something to panic about yet. Sarah, do you feel the same way?
I'm not panicking about it. I mean, so first of all, I get into my Volvo, which has CarPlay. It doesn't have wireless CarPlay because, whatever, 2019. And that is how my car experience happens every time I get into my car. If there were ads, And we're talking ads beyond if I'm listening to a podcast, I might hear an ad that's part of the podcast. Like that's something else entirely. If it's an ad that is part of the car itself, I better have paid less for that car. Or, if I'm in a lease, I better be paying less for that lease. This is to me seems like very much a, do you subscribe to YouTube Premium? If you don't, okay, you'll get ads. That's your choice. You decide what you care about more. Do you care about an ad-free experience, or would you like to save money? When it comes to cars, because cars are more and more a software-based thing, even though there a lot of hardware is still involved, but when it comes to the experience in the car, to get an ad, I would let's say I was buying a new car tomorrow. And that was something that, and again, I know this is all, we're talking about patents, not anything that's going into place right now. But if I were to be given the option of well, do you want to pay $335 a month or $400 a month, ad or no ad type thing, I can see that happening.
Yeah,
I can
absolutely
see that happening.
This is also in the patent specifically on the human-machine interface. So the drawings all show it just on the display. I know I mentioned audio there, but that's not really what the patent is saying they intend to use it for. These are just display ads, so they may be less intrusive than you think. I think what sets people's hair on fire, though, is just the idea that Ford is going to do this. In fact, Moose in our chat room's like, I bet they have a prototype already, which they might. But again, filing a patent often appears to people to be intention, and it is. Go look up all the Apple patents that have ever been filed, and then count how many of those ended up in shipping products. It is a small percentage of them. So, I am not personally going to panic about this quite yet. I'm gonna reserve my. I'm gonna save my panic. I've only got so much panic, Sarah, and I need to guard it jealously.
Yeah. Yeah, I this does not incite panic in me either. What I think is sort of panicky is, well, if something were to be a visual ad that you're designed to look at, we all know how that goes. In a car, not a great idea. I mean, does that only happen when you turn the engine off or put it in park? Or otherwise the car knows that you're in such bad gridlock that you can kind of look down and see the ad and, not be unsafe. A lot of questions about how this would be delivered.
You're thinking a video ad.
Well, or a visual, anything that's visual.
Because there's always something visual on that machine interface, right?
Yeah, but I mean, if I'm, I don't know, if I'm going about my business and I've got a podcast playing, it doesn't I'm not looking at fireworks, on that center screen. I'm just listening to things. If you listen to an ad and you hear it, I think that sticks more so in a car than maybe anywhere else. But if you have to see something, that's either dangerous or you're not going to see it because you're not looking.
All right. Let us know what you think of these. Feedback at dailytechnewsshow.com. Speaking of which, we check out the mailbag now.
Indeed. Greg had some thoughts about pausing video ads. This is from our discussion in last Thursday's show. Greg says, I sometimes pause video in order to read the written dialogue or look more closely at a scene, such as when the movie zooms on some note that we're supposed to read. Advertisements are blocking the content that I want to see when I pause the video.
Yeah. So this is from Friday's conversation. I don't know. I haven't tried this with the ones that already do this, like Hulu. I think it doesn't kick in until several seconds have passed on Hulu, because I've definitely paused on Hulu all the time and I don't see an ad immediately pop up. I don't know how YouTube is implementing it. So that's a good one. And then a non-junior responding to the conversation Nate and I had yesterday where Nate and I were comparing notes on being digital hoarders and the kind of files that we keep forever. A non-junior said, "Hi, my name is a non-junior and I'm a data hoarder too."
Hi, Anon Jr.
Wave emoji. I have no idea what I'm actually going to do with all these past episodes of Games Revisited, especially since they're on YouTube and archive.org. So I think a lot of people can identify with that. Oh, and thanks to Motang. I looked it up. Motang was the one who submitted the Ford eavesdropping on passenger conversations. Thank you, Motang, for submitting that in our subreddit. Patrons, stick around for the extended show. Good Day Internet. Would you wear a pair of headphones to monitor your brain? We're going to talk about a new product you can pay for that will do just that.
Just a reminder, we do this show live, and you can catch our show live Monday through Friday at 4 p.m. Eastern. That's 2000 UTC, and you can find out more at dailytechnewsshow.com/live. We're back doing it all again tomorrow, talking about the Meta Connect event with Scott Johnson joining us. Talk to you then.
The DTNS family of podcasts, helping each other understand.
Diamond Club hopes you have enjoyed this program.
Alrighty, folks, if you want to name that show, go over to showbot.tv/DTNS2. That's the number 2. You can submit, you can vote. You can even submit in Discord and Twitch chat. Just ask around for the little details on that. Neurable is making these brain-computer interface headphones. I mean, when we talk about brain-computer interfaces, most of the time we're talking about implants in your head. So this is stretching the term as far as it'll go. These are EEG meshes, little fabric sensors in the ear pads of a master and dynamic MW75 pair of headphones. So they're basically MW75 headphones, if you happen to know what those are. They're active noise canceling headphones.
They're very nice headphones.
Yeah, it's super good headphones. And they just put the EEG sensors in the foam pads, and then you can wear them, listen to your music, do everything you would with the headphone. You'll have lower battery life, 8 hours with EEG and active noise cancellation on, 10 hours with active noise cancellation off. So the EEG is really going to be pulling some of the battery down. But the idea is to monitor 12 channels on the EEG based on your brain activity. You know, it's just able to read it through the skull, and then measure for focus. Neurable claims they've got lab level accuracy here, but they're not trying to do anything medical, at least not yet. They say they could do some other things, but for the shipping product, they're just going to measure your focus level, and they gamify it with an app. You get points based on, you know, high, medium, and low focus, and you can compare your score week to week. But the practical benefit that I found is there's a feature that will prompt you to take a break. If it's looking like, hey, your focus is starting to go down, maybe you should, you know, go grab a coffee, take a walk outside, whatever, come back, and you'll be more productive, which it is shown that people resist doing that. But if they do it, it definitely makes them more productive. So it's a nice little nudge. Yeah.
You know, going back to our conversation about cars, one of the things that my car will do with me, well, occasionally, thankfully, not all the time, there's like a little coffee icon, and it'll be like, you might need to take a break. Where I'm like, oh gosh, am I
When
tired?
does it do that to you?
When I'm tired.
But like, when are you driving that much? Is this like when you're doing long distance driving, I guess?
Yeah, I mean, this has happened to me like maybe once a year for the last couple of years. You know, but at the same time, I'm sort of like, there are certain patterns that are happening where you, car, are like, she might not be all there. And I'm like,
her eyes are closed and her head's leaning against the wheel.
She's been asleep for 7 minutes and, you know, just keeps tapping the wheel with her knees. But no. But no, there have been times where I'm sort of like, oh gosh, you know, am I, you know, maybe I'm, I don't know, just a little off right now kind of thing. So I think that whether it's, you know, and again, cars and headphones, very different things, but anything that is designed to try to help you do the right thing is good in theory, right?
Yeah.
I mean, my watch at every 10 minutes to the hour, if I haven't been walking around, 24 hours a day is like, it's time. Gotta get up and walk. Gotta get up and walk.
Is that really helping? Like,
well, sometimes I'm like, I'm just not going to. So no, it's not helping. And like, it's actually, you're nagging me.
You can also just like dangle your arm while sitting and it'll think you stood up.
Well, I don't do that because that, then I'm like,
defeats the purpose. I know.
Yeah, I'm just sort of, I'm just cheating the system in general. Like, I'm like, if I'm not going to stand up, I'm not going to stand up.
But
and
the
then
nudges,
we all just have to deal with that. But the nudges, whether it is, like a wearable, whether it's headphones, whether it's something in your car, something that is designed to kind of know your cadence and get better at understanding when you need to, give a stretch or, take a break or, get some water. All that stuff, I feel like in theory is good. It's supposed to be good for us.
Yeah, I think $699 is too much to pay just for that. If you want these kinds of headphones anyway, and you're willing to fork over a little bit extra, then fine.
Those are, I don't know, like cool Bose headphones are $400. I mean, that's $700 is a lot of money.
Yeah, the Master and Dynamic MW75s are regularly like $650 anyway. You can find them used for less, but so they're not adding that much more. In fact, they're listed as $599 on their website, so they're adding $100 to the list price to basically to add in the EEG sensors. So maybe the problem was putting them in such expensive headphones in the beginning. Like if you could put them in other headphones, but I guess they wanted the cachet of being in really good headphones. They're going for that level of the market. I don't know that even $100 is enough for what these are capable of doing, but I'm with you that, the 10 minutes to the hour you haven't stood all hour is a little bit brute force. There's also a lot of these focus reminders that'll just go like every 2 hours, we'll tell you to take a break. That's not tailored to me. It probably works-ish because that's generally how long people go where they need a break or whatever. Whether I don't know if it's 1 hour, 2 hours, or whatever.
Yeah,
right?
it's like maybe you're on the phone with your doctor. You're like, I'm not doing this right now. Stop.
Well,
it's tailored to a typical day, not a specific day.
Well, and it's maybe you're in a groove, right? And then your focus thing makes you take a break when you shouldn't, right? Or maybe you needed one earlier because you're really tired. You needed Sarah's car to remind you to have coffee. This is more precise, right? This is saying we have a pretty good idea how to measure focus. And so we can tell when your focus is drifting and give you a more precise nudge. If your focus stays good longer than usual, we won't nudge you. And I think that's a nice improvement. I don't know if it's worth $100 extra, but it's a nice improvement. I like it.
Yeah. No, I as far as just sort of like figuring out how you human can be the best version of yourself, I love all this stuff. These are not headphones I'm going to buy because I've got headphones already. I'm rocking my Sonys right now, and I've got the AirPods when I'm out and about. But I like the idea of getting more metrics about ourselves because then we learn more about ourselves. What doesn't work for me all that often is for example, my Apple Watch, which I'm charging right now, so I'm not wearing it, but saying like, whoa, your move ring is way ahead for this time of day. Keep it up. And I'm like, I get it. I know this is supposed to be motivating, but like I'm working. I have to sit for the next 4 to 5 hours. Like I don't need this type of stuff. It's like there's a motivational aspect to all of this of, let's make you as healthy as possible. And it just it's not a one size fits all type thing.
They're also doing an API so developers can make apps. There's a developer working on an app that will be able to do a little motion detection which to me is like, well, I don't know, you don't really need an EEG sensor to do that, but I guess you can use it for that. So that's fine. And that way you could like nod yes or shake your head no to quickly answer a text message, which they say a lot of times that's all you need. Some people might find that interesting. Bigger one for me was one that will pause your music if you start to lose focus, as a way to kind of alert you, like, hey, are you paying attention?
It's like the old days when my dad would say, if you're tired, roll down your window. I don't care how hard it's raining. You just, you keep alert.
Yeah.
But yeah, same idea. Right. Yeah. Something happening in your daily routine. I mean, even if I was on my couch watching a show, and I mean, I wouldn't really be doing anything that was cause for concern, but if the show was sort of like, ooh, and
let's pause the show, Sarah fell asleep. Yeah, right.
Like that kind of thing. Or even like maybe Sarah needs more water, or has Sarah not stood up in the last 4 hours, which has happened.
And the stats thing here too, right? You've got the app with the stats, and people love that, right? You're into the sleep stats, right? Now you can get your focus stats and be like, ooh, this is when my focus was at its peak. This is when it was at its lowest.
I love.
You can check all that kind of stuff.
I love stuff like that. I don't know. I mean, the real test is, okay, you get these sorts of metrics, and then do you change your behavior? I don't know what that would look like. I mean, when I'm driving in my car, it's like, you seem tired. You should have coffee. I'm like, it's 10 p.m. Oh my God, I'm going 5 minutes to home. I'm not getting a coffee at Starbucks right now. But I'm sort of like, okay, something in my behavior, triggered something else. And, maybe that's something I should look at. So I think that data and, does the behavior change? Do you, I don't know, am I nodding off at the desk at 2 p.m.? Is it because I ate something that, isn't working for me type
Or
thing?
think about daily tech headlines. What if you found out that your focus peaks like a half hour before or after when you usually are working on headlines? You could be like, oh, if I shift my time by a half hour, I'll get them done faster. And, maybe it helps you with that because you see that everybody's focus drifts throughout the day.
Very true. Yeah. No, it's true. Especially with, I think, things that are very time dependent. So daily tech headlines, for example, when Tom and I or Rob do it, I mean, you gotta, well, it's a little different for Rob because he's on the East Coast, but it's like you get up first thing in the morning and that's what you're doing. That's what that is what your brain is focusing on. If my watch says, hey, you should stand up, I'm like, nope, not today, Satan. I am doing this thing. That kind of thing. That I think can work for a lot of folks who also just feel very kind of hamster wheel in ways where, if you're dialed in, you're focused, that's sometimes is great. Sometimes I walk away from a day and I'm like, I did everything just perfectly today. But often it's like, it's sort of off. And it's like, why? Did I not have enough coffee? Did I not have,
This could help you. You could be able to
adequate
find
lunch?
out like, I was putting in all my effort at my lowest focus, time of the day or whatever.
Right. Yeah. It's sort of, I don't know. It kind of goes into like, maybe a bigger health conversation about, what we should do and at what time and, with what stimulants or not. But I love this. The more you know.
And speaking of health, they do think they could use their EEG sensors to diagnose. So track for signs of Alzheimer's, ADHD, things like that. They're not marketing it that way because they're not ready to submit it for the approvals you would need that way. But that's on the roadmap. and maybe not in $700 headphones, but the EEG sensors could be put in other kinds of everyday wearables that could track for that kind of stuff. But the Focus is the thing they're marketing now. I thought this was interesting just because it's a different kind of BCI. It's not one that has to require surgery. And I'm just curious what people are going to use with the new technology that lets you, easily monitor brainwaves non-invasively and then use algorithms to interpret those, and we can find out all kinds of stuff that way. So what uses are people putting it to? I think that's interesting.
Yeah. I mean, the ADHD example, this is not something that I've ever been diagnosed with, but I know a lot of people who have been. And yeah, it's sort of like, is that an attention thing? Something that maybe if I was sitting across from you, at a workspace, right? And I'm looking at Tom all day and I'm like, I don't know, I don't think he has ADHD kind of thing. Like, but maybe that is something that you have. And maybe that is something that can be monitored by just very small, specific things. And again, I'm not a doctor, but yeah, I think the more we get into this wearable as a health device, we already have wearables as health devices, but they only go so far, right? It's like, here's how you slept, blood oxygen level, that's a big one lately. Do you have sleep apnea? Have you gone too far underwater? We have wearables that can do these things for us, but when it comes to actually diagnosing you with something that, if you choose to, accept the diagnosis, and then go to a health professional and do something after that, that's where it really gets interesting.
Yeah, it's like the sleep apnea thing, right? That's a good example of like, this isn't going to be the diagnosis. This is something where you theoretically could be wearing the earbuds that detect this and say, hey, we've noticed some patterns that could be indicative of Alzheimer's or ADHD or something else. You should take these to your doctor. And then your doctor's going to do an actual like full-on EEG and other kinds of tests to measure it. But it could stave something off, especially with things that benefit from early detection, like Alzheimer's. The earlier you detect it, we're getting more and more therapies that can do something about it if there's early detection. That's good to have them developing these kinds of things for that, right?
Indeed.
What do you think it is a symptom of if you buy paintings of zebras in bathtubs?
That you're cool.
Yeah. Definitely means that. That definitely increases the cool ranking in your app.
Okay. So what Tom is talking about right now is on Apple Vision Show. It was not this week's episode. It was last week's episode, maybe 2 weeks ago. I don't know. Time is a flat circle. But I was telling Eileen and Amos that I bought a print of a zebra in a bathtub. And I was like, it just, I wanted.
Where did you buy it from?
From FY.
Okay.
They do great stuff.
Okay.
I've gotten some prints from them before, but I was like, I don't know. I wanted something new in my house. All my artwork is I've had it since college, and it's great, but like, I just, something nice and new. So I bought a print of a zebra in a bathtub, and Amos was like, well, you wanted it to be colorful? I mean, that seems like the most uncolorful thing, zebra in a bathtub. And I'm like, no, the print is very colorful. So for anybody who's on our stream, I will now show you this print.
Sarah is walking off screen and grabbing the print to show to us. We will do our best to describe it to you as well. It is quite colorful. If you're not imagining it, it is a red bathtub with a white rim. It's got a zebra inside. There's like a blue, red, and yellow wall, black and yellow striped floor, and the zebra is either very small or the bathtub is very big, right? It's quite beautiful, don't you think, Roger?
It is very indicative of how we all wash our animals in the bathtub.
I remember Eileen being like, "What kind of bathtub?" And I'm
How
like,
does it-
"I don't know, like a clawfoot bathtub." And she was like, "Huh, all right, I'll just have
Yeah.
to see it." Yeah.
How does it
Kind
get
of do
its,
have to see it.
How does it get its back? Does it have like a ZBrush?
I don't know. It's so cute. Gosh, it's the cutest thing I've ever bought. I love it so much.
I just wanted to see what AI would make of this, so I decided to ask ChatGPT, which then used Dolly, to create a painting of a zebra in a bathtub. So, hold on. Oh no!
Oh no!
I'm getting the beach ball.
Oh, I thought it was like something you can show.
Yeah, I might fall out of StreamYard, to be honest, because for some reason. Oh, wait. Okay, everything's coming back.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay, here we go. That is
Okay, so this
Dolly's zebra in a bathtub has rubber duckies for some reason. But
and
it is a
lots of
clawfoot
lots of
bathtub.
soap.
Yeah.
There's soap. There's
Very
soap.
sudsy.
On the shelf and then on the floor. So this is also very cute. It's a little cartoony.
Yeah.
Like
yours is more arty. It's not realistic either, but it's more like kind of an artistic style. I don't know what style you would call yours. This is very cartoony.
Yours is
It's
more
very
of
cartoony. It's
surreal
It is? Okay.
because you have a pretty well proportioned zebra depicted, but it's in a bathtub.
not to be confused with a badly proportioned
It's like
zebra.
Brandon Bird, the artist who does a lot of kind of TV based.
You say that about everything.
Tom, you're a lot like Brandon Bird. You make a lot of references to TV shows. Well, it's interesting. Nick with the C said it's equally colorful, and I was about to say, is it equinely?
Yes, you were. You were about to say that.
All right. Enough of the horse jokes.
Enough horsing around.
But
That
anyway,
horse is
yes, I feel
left
like
the barn.
on the conversation,
Tough it out,
the
everybody.
conversation of AI and what it can do for us. I mean, artwork obviously, it can do lots for you. Do you like it? Do you like the the printout? Very very subjective, but I think I know what I'm gonna do with the zebra. Zebra's gonna go into the bathroom because I feel like it's like kind of
It's in a
weird.
bathtub.
Right.
Yeah,
like
that seems appropriate.
Where am I going to put the zebra in a bathtub if not in my bathroom?
Yeah.
And then that means I move something else that's in the bathroom, and now I have to basically rearrange everything in my house.
It's a
And
chance to
I
get
don't
rid of
know
something.
why I do these things, but it's fun. It's fun. It's
Yeah.
super colorful and made me happy today.
I knew nothing about FY. That's like just a decor, like a home decor site.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mostly, looks like it's mostly paintings and prints and things like that.
Painting, yeah, they do all sorts of stuff. I got something else from them, which is a black cat that is designed to look like David Bowie, which I have hanging above Ralphie's food bowl because he's kind of black cat
Oh, they have
David Bowie.
furniture and stuff too. You're right. They're like a total.
They have a
home-
bunch of stuff. Yeah.
homes.
No, it's good.
Yeah.
It's good. I mean, some of it is like, listen, if you don't want like a live, laugh, love thing on your wall, then it's
Maybe not as useful for you.
You can find the thing that works for you. I think.
They have a lot of pet scarves. That's
Pet
the pet section. Is
scarves.
mostly scarves.
Yep.
It's-
Well,
If that
winter
tells
is
you
coming,
anything.
Tom. So
Yeah.
You got to warm up or
Got to dress up that.
dr-
Have you noticed that most pet stuff is for small dogs? Have you noticed this? Having a large dog as well. Our dog is getting
I mean,
larger all the time, but
a
yours
lot
is
of-
already large.
clothing, I guess, would be for smaller dogs. I don't know about the tech itself.
Well,
But-
I don't know. I wasn't speaking specifically about tech, but just like whenever I see pet things,
Oh, pet
like,
things,
there's
yeah.
a cute little pet store. Let's go in. Oh yeah, this is all for dogs 20 pounds or less. I found a pet section of this cool website. Oh, it's all scarves for tiny dogs. Like
There is
that kind of thing.
there's a certain amount of like small dogs and people dressing them up like children.
Yeah.
You know, where you can do that with a larger dog.
And the
but you
toys,
see
too.
that less, and
The
you have
toys
fewer
are quite
options.
often like these. My dog would either swallow these or tear them to bits in 2 seconds. Like it's really hard to find the tough.
Maybe
toys that-
maybe it's the owners of the smaller dogs are more likely to buy those.
They
things
have
and-
more. They have a higher income bracket. If you have
Well, I mean,
the smaller
like,
the dog, the bigger your income. Yeah.
It threw me for a loop like 5 years ago when I started seeing people with the little pet strollers. I thought, oh, what a weird looking kid. It's like, oh no, it's a dog.
That's a Chihuahua. Yeah.
So maybe it's that particular segment of the pet owning.
What are you trying to say about people with strollers?
Yeah, Roger.
They're willing to spend more money than is necessary.
I see where you're going now. You're like, if
Willing
you
or
bought a
have
stroller for your dog, you already are spending more money.
Yeah,
That was actually an economist podcast topic this morning on The Intelligence, was just the skyrocketing money coming into selling pet accessories. Even with the decline in pet ownership after the lockdowns ended and people started to go back to work, there's still people are just spending like crazy on their pets, more now than ever before.
So that just tells me DTNS needs like a Pet Smart or a Pet Arm where we make little knickknacks for.
Where we make them?
Sure, why not? Who wouldn't
Yes,
want like something that was
them, Tom.
something
Wait,
hand?
how is
Get to
that our
work.
expertise? I was totally with you. I was like, yeah, we need a pet tech segment. We have one that we put up on YouTube, and Joe and Eileen are going to be talking about doing more. And then you're like, no, we'll like craft.
We'll
them.
make like Sarah can, you and myself. We can.
I
it'd
can't
be
make
like
anything.
hand-
What are you
I
talking
can't.
about?
I don't even
But
know how to
that's what
sew
makes
a
it
button
unique.
onto
No one
a-
wants
a shirt.
perfect industrially, perfect copies.
This is not my lane.
You're-
But-
DTNS branded pet clothing that we could like get printed. Darkmaster suggested that in the YouTube chat. That I could go that far. I
Yeah.
don't know about us actually crafting anything though.
We could have like chewies of our heads, like
There, now you're talking little dog toys. Amos says he can
But then
sew.
it's like
Poorly.
what if
it sees you. In
I
real
get
life.
chewed to death.
But you won't make the squeak, so it
How will that
realizes
make you
you're
feel?
not the toy.
I guess it wouldn't really matter either
Yeah.
way.
Can we make the squeak
catchphrases? We do not have squeaky toys in my
Ooh.
house because I just can't. I can't handle it.
Yeah.
Can't do it. But when we go to the dog park every so often, Otis will find a tennis ball and he's like, and it's like, oh, there's a squeaky, and he looks at me like, oh my gosh, I found a squeaky toy. He's so excited.
He just can't. He can't.
He
He's
loves
like, Mommy
it.
never lets me have these at home.
Not in the house. I can't have that. Like,
Well, is he a constant squeaker? Like he won't stop? Is that why?
if he had a squeaky toy, he would sit in the corner and just chew it,
Just squeak,
and
squeak,
it would squeak, squeak, squeak. Yeah,
yeah.
I can't. We can't live like that.
Mm-hmm.
But it's okay if he finds it out in the
No
wild.
way to live.
It's no way to live.
Yeah.
No, it's crazy. I mean, maybe some people wouldn't care, but I'm like, nope, can't have squeaky toys.
Yeah, a lot of people don't realize there's a large population of free roaming squeak toys in Los Angeles. They just you go to the parks and they're just
You just find them.
yeah. free range.
And every time he finds one, he looks at me and he's just like, look what I got. It's so cute. And I'm like,
Yeah.
all right, enjoy it while you can, because it's not coming indoors.
We, our dogs were older. Sawyer was old enough that he didn't really care about squeak toys. When he was young, though, he would do the same thing. Seven the dog, brand new dog. he does a little bit of squeaking, but he does more gnawing. And so the squeak toys are okay with him because he doesn't just make them squeak constantly. Knock on wood. He'll start doing it tomorrow. He's a 5-month-old puppy. Like everything changes every day. But
And now I know he had an antler or something, that he sort of shaped into an obsidian. Thing.
yeah. It was the wood. It was a wood chew toy that he like chewed into a point. Yeah,
Yeah.
it looked like a
now a
vampire
weapon.
steak. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't as sharp as it looked. It was very soft on the end, but it looked really sharp. I was like, "What are you, a vampire hunter?" Like, yeah.
Otis loves antlers, and they're real antlers.
Yeah.
And I stopped buying them because their prices went up. I don't know if this
Yeah.
is just like, I don't know, who even knows why. But like they went up like exponentially from something like $10 to like $80.
Oh my
and I was like,
gosh,
oh my
yeah.
gosh, well, I'm not
Yeah, forget
buying
it.
you any more antlers. You can have a squeaky toy at the dog park here and there.
Yeah.
We are a blue collar house, but I went to not Petco, PetSmart. There's a PetSmart near me the other
Sure.
day, and the antler prices have gone down.
So it was it was probably a logistics issue.
I think it was
The antler farms couldn't ship them out or something.
Right,
Or
right.
Maybe there was a bird flu outbreak in the antler breeding stock.
Who even knows? Yeah, who even knows? But I was like, okay, this is because he loves a good antler, and I mean, he'll chew on that for months.
That's nice.
And yeah, I
mean,
went
for
to-
him, not for the deer.
yeah, right.
Well,
Actually,
they're
if they're
already
antlers that just
dead.
fell off.
Yeah, they
probably.
fell
off.
Yeah. So the deer probably.
So I
doesn't care.
guess it's a seasonal product unless they have like sources from around the globe.
Yeah.
Possibly. Had not thought about that.
Well, thank you everybody for supporting us at patreon.com/DTNS. I want to give a big shout out to everybody who supports us there. We didn't get any raises today, but R.W. Nash, Anon Jr., Howard, everybody in there commenting, having a good time. Thanks for joining us. We will see you tomorrow. Until then, have a good day.
Good
Have
day,
a good day.
Internet.
All right, we are still live, and we are going to thank the YouTuber Christopher, who gave us the super chat. Thank you, Christopher.
Thanks, Christopher.
Yay. Also, big thanks to the folks on Twitch. PC Miles, he cheered us with some bits. Dahana cheered us with 200 bits. Thank you, Dahana. Zoe Brings Bacon with 4 bits. Technomensch with 5 bits. Faking Nose Grub 00 resubscribed with Prime for the 48th month. 2 years, baby. Good job, Faking Nose Grub. We got a follow from Waffle373 Rosodrew. Thanks, everybody, for supporting us on Twitch as well. Let's go to Showbot and see what the top vote getter is for DTNS. Clinton Woodward is the top of the list with Gemini. The first hit is free. And the second and the third, like it's included in your workspace, at least for now. We also have Daily Tech Horse Show, but that's more pre-show.
It's a zebra show.
Yeah. Equine, maybe. AI going God mode. Yeah, it got a lot of votes, but we didn't really talk about it that much. Ford is driving ads forward from Raymond. That one's pretty good. Do you know where your towel is? 24 backwards.
That's funny.
Don't panic. Show me the WAI. Show me the way. Patent vending. That's good. What'd you go with, Roger?
I went with Zoe's. Is Ford listening to you?
Is Ford listening to you? The answer is no, not yet.
Well, yeah.
For
Until
GDI,
it does. All right.
our top vote getter is from Zoe, a zebra in a bathtub. I mean, do we need to read any more?
Oh, my zebra. I'm so into it. I love it. I love my zebra.
We also have Sarah's car has a low caffeine alert from Lion Jim Video.
It does. It does. First time I saw it, I was like, what is that? Why? And it like shakes at
You're like,
you.
maybe the car needs coffee.
Yeah, I'm like low
got
on
the
gas.
shakes
What's
even.
going
Wow.
on? Yeah, it's strange.
So we also had horsing around.
Of course. A horse, of course. I mean, we're naming it a zebra in a bathtub, though, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
Yes,
There we
did
go.
that.
Yeah.
Well-
that's what we're doing.
Then that's what we're doing. We are going to now send you to the best place on earth that isn't Good Day Internet. Trish Hirschberger!
Tell that girl Trish we said hello.
Please do. YouTube folks, have a great time yourselves, and we'll see y'all tomorrow. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.